the shitty conversations game. There's going to be 3 roles in this. The protagonist, the actor, and the director. So you're first going to just choose who's going to go first. The protagonist is going to choose a scene from below. If you want, you could choose something different, but we've written out 3 that you can try from. You'll notice with each of these, we give you a position, which is what you're probably going to want in this, and then the interest below it. For most of the time, it's better to try to negotiate for the interest than the position, but we've written out both of them. If you read the scene and you're like, actually, I think there's something different that I'd like out of this, go with that instead. We're just trying to tee you up. Then the actor is going to get to choose some bad actions. The protagonist, if you're the protagonist, you can either choose bad actions for the actor to use. You can be like, these are things that would be really hard for me. Or you can say, okay, actor, just choose a couple things and don't tell me what they are. I'm just going to try to navigate as they come up. We've made a list of a bunch of bad actions. You can choose from these. You can add other ones. We just tried to give you some things that you can pick from. I would suggest not picking more than 3, ideally 2. Your actor can, extemporate a little bit, but don't make it too hard for them. And we've given you some sample phrases for what you could say for each of these. So then you're going to play out the scenario. And to give you help, we've put all of the tools from class at the bottom. With, again, some sample phrases. The 3rd member of your party is going to be the director. At any point, the director, who's mostly going to be working off of this, can shoot you a private message and say, hey, try, and give you a tool, maybe even give you a sample phrase or like a specific. It doesn't have to be what's written on here. Because in the heat of the moment, it's really hard to remember what these tools are, right? So they're going to help you out by prompting you a little bit with like, here's an idea to try, which you can try or you can ignore as you desire. So that's the game. I'm going to put this in chat and we're going to do a demo.
Pull up those screens and we're going to have all of you serve the role of the director. So what I want you to do is just pull that up and go down to the tools that we have available. And while we go through this, I want you to be directing Sarah. We're going to do a full role reversal here. I love it.
Okay.
And I don't know if you realize this, Sarah, but I just made you the protagonist.
Great. God. Okay. So you guys can put tools in chat at any time that you want me to try as I try to navigate this scenario. And I may or may not pay attention. We'll see. Don't private message them to me. Actually put them in the public chat so we can all see. Okay, so I think, let me see. What scenario do I want? Ooh, the family one, I was thinking about a bunch when we came up with this game. I was like, I don't know how I would deal with that. So I'd love to play that one out. The scene is your uncle, which Geof would be playing, uses the word faggot to refer to my best friend.
Wait a second. I need to
get into uncle mode.
Oh, I have to get into bigot uncle mode. Okay.
Okay. And I'll let you choose bad actions. Yeah, I don't think I have any particular in mind, so you go ahead and choose them.
Happy to do that. I want to make a disclaimer here. We are playing role plays that are intended to be rough and difficult. If you need to modify them at all for the individuals that are a part of your room or your group, feel free to modify those things. Right now, we're going to play with what is a scene of family bigotry, which comes up often enough that we think it's important to discuss and explore. And also, you may find it emotionally activating. I know I do, and I'm not even doing it yet. So I'm going to do the best that I can to be in this role, and then allow myself to drop out of the role afterwards. And I really highly encourage you all to take whatever words you need before you walk into one of these roles to do that thing, and then to care for yourself as you de-roll afterwards.
All right. You ready, Uncle? Uncle Geof?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay. So, Yeah, I was hanging out with my best friend the other day and we
Oh
were
yeah, how is that silly little faggot?
um she's doing great, and I noticed that when
Good, good.
you call her a faggot, I feel uncomfortable.
I didn't realize you were gay.
Um, that's not the reason that I feel uncomfortable. For me, the word faggot is a derogatory term, and I'm curious if that's the case for you.
A derogatory term?
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
do you use the word faggot when you want to put
I,
somebody
I
down?
hear people use that term all the time. My friends use it all the time. Like it's a term of endearment. I love my
Got it.
faggots.
So you're using a term of endearment for my friend.
Yeah, that silly little faggot. Love that girl.
I love that. I'm so glad that you like her because obviously she's my bestie and I would like you to feel the same. And also I know that in my world, that word, I would only use it if I really wanted to like fuck with someone or if I really didn't like them. Like it's
Oh,
used as a
that's
term
that's
of,
just ridiculous. I mean, how fragile, what a fragile little snowflake do you have to be to get activated by a single word? You know, I hear people using that term all the time. You just walk into any given room and you just get upset about people using a word. It's just a word. It's just a word. I don't understand why you're getting so upset by that. You know, only
so if
5% of the
she
population reports themselves as being part of the LGBT alphabet community. You know, I can't just be, changing the words that I'm using everywhere that I am.
so I'm curious if one of my friends was like, you're talking to your uncle, that Biden loving immigrant shitbag,
Now, you
would
know
you
I
feel
don't like
upset?
Biden. You know I don't like Biden. He was just the only choice I had. It was Biden or
Exactly.
that fucking Cheeto.
Right. But the word doesn't feel great to you, right? I would like you to not use that word for my friend because I think it has the same effect that calling you Biden loving has
Well,
on you.
that's not fair. Faggot's a word, Biden's a person.
Think about it for a second.
I just did. I
How is
couldn't have
it?
come up with those words if I hadn't been thinking about it. Now, I just want you to think about it for a second. If anybody is just going to get upset about a word any of the time, like, I mean, what does that say about the fragility of the person themselves? Perhaps you should be working on upping the resilience of your community so you're not so fragile in the face of the onslaught that is obviously going to come from the other 95% of the population occasionally. It's just going to happen. You're different. You're a member of a different population. Of course, that there is going to be some adversity.
All right, Uncle. Let's pause this for just a second. We're obviously getting heated. I imagine that I'm touching on a nerve here. Like, have you had the experience with a lot of people in my age group or like liberals in general getting upset when you use certain words? Like, what is that like for you?
You gotta, yeah, and you know, I see in the news all the time. There's this aggression that's coming up against, you know, this aggression that's coming up against the gays, against the blacks, against the trans folk, and they're asking us to change words, but that isn't going to change society. And if they don't accept the fact there's adversity in this world with them, and they don't prepare themselves to meet it, this is just going to keep happening. They need to be prepared to defend themselves. They need to be walking into the world with the level of resilience. And the fact that you're asking me to just change a word when obviously I care so much about your friend just feels fucking ridiculous to me. This isn't the problem. The problem is the
All right,
resilience.
we're at time. That was great, guys. Can we get some snaps? All right, I'm gonna unpin us so we can see everyone. Woo! So we're gonna do, Joff and I are gonna do some cosmic cutters and just like shake off our roles so that we don't keep seeing each other as that for the rest of the day. Joff, what bad actions were you using?
I referred to status. I used an appeal to authority. I strawmanned your argument. I kind of slippery sloped the thing as well. Um, yeah, there are quite a few.
Thank you.
I didn't just stick to three.
I used most of the ones that I got in chat. The only one I didn't get to was Laura's, although I thought about with that going to like here, not quite resource, but status of like, listen, like here's the number of people that I know that might have this experience, and like um that was really useful. I think the hardest one for me was directing, but it ended up actually like moving the conversation. So I appreciated that, William.
Yeah, the thing that I wanted was to get underneath the thing. Like that's what I wanted in that character. I wanted to get underneath the thing because I thought I was being seen as like this bigot, and like I mean, obviously there is some bigotry that lives in me, and also there's this underlying narrative that like I want this community as this character to be more resilient, to like meet the adversity that they're facing in the world and stop just taking the hits and taking it internally, like really fighting
It really
for
changed the
yeah,
conversation.